one of the reasons why I'm still not struggling in that space, I'm definitely moving forward, is because I want a place where I can be truly emotional with my woman. And I think that sometimes in relationships in the past, I've never felt like what you just said. I can talk about how I feel, because if I said how I really felt, I don't know if it's gonna come off the right way to you. And so what I did was I acted strong and I'm like, no, I'm good. But really on the inside, let's be real, I was a little insecure about something, but I didn't feel as if it was a safe place to say, hey, I'm feeling this way. Can we set aside everything else and just talk about my feelings? And then once we understand my feelings, then let's come up with the solution. Normally it's, if I say I feel this way, sometimes men are attacked for how they're feeling.
Can you give me an example of that attack? Because I hear that a lot when they're just like, she'll use it against them, she'll attack them. So can you give me an example of what that actually looks like?
Let me find a safe one.
So they won't be coming from attack. It's hard for me to believe that women are just running around here like, what you mean you sad?
No. But let me say this.
You punk, you sad? I mean, what do you mean by attack?
No. Let me say this. It's not
okay.
It's not all women, but I'll definitely say this. So I was in a particular magazine, and they acknowledged me for being one of the top 40 under 40 influential Black people in America. And at that time, I was with I'm trying to be very wise here how I say my words. I was with a particular woman who was in a relationship, and this is her exact words to me. She was making more money than me, and she said, "That's nothing. I expect you to do that. You're a man." So I simply, when she said that, I said, yeah, I got you. But internally, I was looking for my woman to like, babe, that's a huge accomplishment. Babe, I'm so proud of you. Babe, like I back you. But because she was already successful, she was like, boy, I'm already winning. You need to be winning. That's good. Do your thing. But it's like, there was no. And here's the thing that flipped me. My mama called me. My pastor called me. My sister called me. But the woman who I'm trying to build a life with was like, boy, I expect you to do that. And so for me at that time, I was fearful to express my feelings because what I got from her was, you're a man, you're supposed to be doing that.
Gotcha.
And this man was like, dang, I needed my woman to kind of be encouraging, to be supportive, to be my number one cheerleader, but I never told her that. And if she's watching today, this is probably the first time that she'll see it because we broke up. I never mentioned anything else to her about it. But that's what I mean. It feels that sometimes men, we want that nourishment. We want that supporter. We want to feel like we are Hercules to our women. We don't never want to feel like, oh, boy, I expect you to do that. And we understand that there are expectations to being a man. But you have kids. I have nephews and niece.
Yeah. They
know they're supposed to bring home A's and B's. But even when they bring home A's and B's, I don't say, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm like, good job, boy. You know what? Here go a little $5. Here's some ice cream. I'm proud of you. That's what, the Gibbons and the Henrys and O'Neals, that's what we do. But here's still some encouragement. And I think sometimes men, we're so used to not being celebrated that we put our feelings aside and we keep on moving. And that is something that I want in my marriage. I want inside of my relationship. And that is hard to find because people feel like, oh, but you're Anthony ONeal. Oh, you're AO. Man, no. Bishop Jake said this at the leadership conference. I'm still little Anthony on the inside. I'm still a little
We're
kid.
all still a kid on the inside.
You know what I'm
all
saying?
All of us are.
Yeah,
and that's okay. Yeah.
Give me a little bit of, if you my woman, give me hype. I don't expect that from my team members. I don't expect that from, but my woman, no, I'm gonna need you to talk to little AO in there.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And I'm sure that if she is listening, reflecting on that, she probably didn't hear it at the time and might hear it now.
Right.
And maybe be able to learn from that. We all come from places that, especially, I think, not especially, but in a certain way, uniquely in the Black community, we come from some generations that were just very work oriented. This is the work. This is what you do. You know, many of us, I'm almost 50 years old. So I saw this funny Instagram video the other day about like Black moms when they know they're wrong, and they had went off on the kid that come in the bedroom is like, "Hey, did you still want that video game?" Or you know, and the kid was like, "Nah." They're like, "Oh, now you don't want it?" Like, you know, just not. So we, because of many things, some things are cultural, some things, the pressures that we've lived under, we haven't been in a place where it may have felt safe to be vulnerable emotionally, but it's something that I'd like to see us build.
Yeah, no, and
And
that's real.
so first and foremost, though, each of us getting in touch with our own emotions, bless you,
Thank you.
each of us getting in touch with our own emotional lives. And then before we go, I want to make sure I talk about how to start doing that.
Please.
And then being willing to start to use the language of need
Yeah.
when it comes to our emotions, because we're quick to say what we think we need to solve a problem, but not realizing what we actually just need emotionally. And to be so okay with that, that I can say to someone, "Hey, I need to have some words of affirmation. I need, you know, that hug right now. I need to feel more connected to you in this moment. I'm scared. I just need to feel a little bit of assurance, a little safety." And to be able to use that kind of language, it's vulnerable, but the more in touch we are with, okay with, and embracing of our own emotion, the less threatening that becomes, because then it's like my needs are legitimate. And if my needs can't be met in this relationship, then that doesn't make me the problem. It just means that this system doesn't run well. We can work on seeing if the system can be improved. And if it can't, then this might not be the relationship. Because when it comes to romantic relationships, the Gottman Institute research shows that 70% of a marriage is friendship.
Ooh.
And many of us aren't very good at being emotionally vulnerable with our friends.
Ooh.
And then we want to get into a romantic relationship and say, well, this is the one place where I should be able to be emotionally vulnerable, you know, because this place, but we haven't practiced that. We don't have capacity for it in our friendships. Our friendships are one of the best training grounds for us in emotional connection, because 70% of marriage is friendship. And that doesn't mean just I like you, but there should be some emotional connection and vulnerability with your friends. I can say that to my friends. Like, girl, it's rough today. What you been doing today? Crying. That's what I've been doing. And allowing myself to be vulnerable with my friends. If we don't have those kind of connections with friendships, then we all of a sudden try to rev it up in a romantic relationship. We don't know how to do it. And so we show up in a romantic relationship expecting all of this stuff that we didn't have in a friendship. We need to work on that with our friends.
Wow. That's real. And I
Yeah.
probably only have maybe one or two friends in my friendship circle that I feel as if I could be 100% honest and vulnerable with.
Yeah.
And it's because we're both honest and vulnerable with each other.
Yeah.
It's not just
You
a
see that give and
one-way
take.
thing,
Right.
you know? And
right.
it's like,
you see that.
we're gonna get her book. We're gonna put in today's
Yes.
show notes. But because I really want to leave with that, because you said you want to give people just some clear directions on how to start identifying.
How they can start. Yeah.
And I want to make sure that we give them that before the end of the show. So after she gives you all this, you guys, please go get her book. And don't get her book. Listen to her podcast. And subscribe to her, follow her, because I'm telling you right now, Dr. Anita Phillips is literally in the top 10 people I love in the world. Like, I just love her spirit, her heart. Her husband is absolutely amazing, doing amazing things with Bishop T.D. Jakes. And what Dr. Anita brings is authentic. It is real. And I promise you, it will change your life. I will never forget, my mama called me years ago. "Have you heard of Dr. Anita Phillips?" I said, "I think I heard of her husband. I never really followed her." She's like, "Boy, you need to go look her up." And ever since then, I've been a fan of hers, and she's become a dear sister.